How's first week practice going? What do you feel like y'all have been successful at so far?
It's been going great. Coach has kind of harped on it a little bit, but everybody's for the most part healthy. So just want to keep it that way going into next week and opening day. And then it's fun because this time of year you can see all the progress guys have made from the fall to the spring and the winter off season. And the other part of it is just it's great being back around everybody. We have a really good group of guys and that all love and pull for each other. So.
What did it mean for you to have this whole coaching staff come back? I know you probably had opportunities after what did last year and the continuity that's brought.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have the best coaching staff in the country. And, personally, with Coach Early, I've been with him since my freshman year at Arizona State. So, he's really gotten to see myself just kind of grow as a person and as a baseball player. So, I mean, I love him to death. And I know for a fact that, he could – have a job in professional baseball if he wanted it, but it means everything for a guy like that to come back, and then everyone else is the best in the business. So,
what have you improved on since last year when you all-around game was terrific, and Coach talked about wanting to make things better? What did they identify for you, and what have you improved on?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play summer ball last year for the reason to stay and train. I mean, I had close to 300 at-bats last year, which is like ridiculous for a college baseball season. So, we got done playing, I think, June 20th, and I wasn't allowed to go play summer ball by rule until, I think, early July. So, he just brought up the idea to, hey, why not stay and train and put on 20 pounds of muscle and, work on the things you need to work on defensively. And I think those are my biggest strides. It's just been in the weight room and then just defensively at first base, just getting quicker and just trying to get everything to cut down the run game a little bit and all that good stuff. So.
Jim mentioned earlier that guys like Brett and Austin and Trevor pick on pro, but they like to come back into the craft. What does that say about the continuity of the team and the belief in the program being hurt?
Yeah, I mean, they're unbelievable guys. I could have told you that, when I first stepped foot on campus last year, and they've been unbelievable to me. You see how they interact with teammates. It doesn't matter if you're the everyday three-hole or a guy that hardly ever gets at bats. Like, they're going to treat you the same. So it just speaks to their character. I mean, I know that they could have gone and done things for themselves, but to come back and to want to try and finish this thing off this year with the right way with a national championship, speaks volumes about them as people. So.
Kind of playing off that, you saw how powerful and fervent the offense was last year. So what are the expectations for this season for the offense?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to just say, hey, let's just copy and paste the offense from last year and just put it into this year. But, I mean, that's obviously, really difficult to do, right? When I think you hit close to 300 as a team and, you're the best team offensively in the SEC and SEC play, obviously you want to replicate that every single year. But it really just falls on, the guys that, were here last year, those however many guys that played every day last year to tell the new guys, like, hey, this is the way we do things, and, we're not really going to deviate from it. And what also helps is, hey, we're going to run into some adversity this year offensively, like we did last year, which everybody kind of seems to forget about. We ended up being the best offensive team, but we started off, right at the bottom. So, we're going to hit those kind of lulls, or we're going to hit a lull at some point in the season offensive, whether it be offensively as a team or personally. But the experience is where, that kind of comes in, and, that's just when we just got to stick together, just keep believing, and just keep working.
Then it'd be pretty easy to copy-paste on 360 and over 100 hits as well on an individual level. So
yeah.
What is done mentally to stay the same guy and to stay locked in?
Right. Well, I learned from a coach a long time ago that you can never stay the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. So I don't necessarily know if I'm going to hit what I hit last year. But I do know that I've done everything I possibly could to prepare for this season on a personal level, and then just kind of let the chips fall where they may. I mean, this is a really good conference with a lot of really good pitchers. I have found a recipe that works for me, but at the same time, I like to think that I can do better than last year. I mean, I can't even tell you how much effort has gone into it these past 3 years, and just kind of come full circle. Here we are 3 years later, at a different school that I started from. Just going to keep working and believe in my faith and just keep trusting in God and kind of just let everything take care of itself.
You played with Hunter Haas, and now he comes over, follows a year later. Was that something as well with Coach to him back with the same coaches when he had so much success offensively? And what have you seen improve since y'all played together as freshmen?
Yeah, I mean, he's a gamer. I've actually played with Hunter since we were sophomores in high school. I mean, we weren't from the same state, but we played a lot of showcase stuff together, and then we ended up committing around the same time to Arizona State, and we played in some showcase stuff together at that time as well. And then we were roommates my freshman year, so coming in with him at Arizona State was fun, just because, and especially now, just however long later, just because, you know, hey, like him and I have grown up together. Like at this point, I feel like that, you know, Hunter, you know, was a really good player when we came into this thing when we were freshmen, and he's only gotten better. He works his tail off, and you know, he's a leader of the clubhouse and a guy that you just want to be around.
Defensively, his opportunity to play in the middle infield, any doubts he could play at the SEC level?
No, not at all. He's always been, you know, one of the elite shortstops that I've ever played with, so I have all the confidence in him.
Austin switches his number from that takes you rotate up to Brett and 12. Just what does he mean to have that? And then do you feel like he embodies what the 12th man represents?
Yeah, no, I know he's been an Aggie for life, and you know, he's one of the best teammates that I've ever had, if not the best. So I can't really think of anybody else more deserving to wear that number, and I know that he's going to make Aggie land and, you know, his team really, really proud. So.
Going back to earlier, talking about kind of being a late bloomer last year, just you guys collectively as a team. What do you think y'all learned from the whole process of last season, the expectations going into last season, where you ended up, and how that can maybe help, you know, coming into this year and not maybe just expecting, and knowing that just because you have a good number next to your name ranking-wise, you know, you still got to go out and earn it? Yeah,
I mean, that's the funny thing about rankings, man. I mean, you know, everybody kind of is, or I guess from the outside, it looks like everybody's kind of excited that we got picked 4th or 5th or whatever. But, you know, I mean, we finished 3rd last year, and not many people remember us at the College World Series, right? It's only about that last team. So we all still have that chip on our shoulder. And, you know, there are a lot of guys that when I came in that, especially, you know, myself and, like I said, a lot of other guys on the team that, you know, I mean, they may appear on the surface or on the outside as like, super, you know, in which they are, like, obviously really nice, polite people. But when we step between those lines, man, like, we're trying to beat you and everything we got. Like, we know how hard we work, and we know the blue-collar mentality that we have within the program. And that's never going to change. You can't really take that out of people, regardless of whatever number you put next to their name or any accolade or any ranking. So.
5 different websites have listed you guys preseason top 10. Do you even pay attention to that, or internally to you guys as players if it's a 0-0 record and other people face confidence?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to ignore. I mean, you being in a social media day and age, like, you're going to see that kind of stuff. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's just a number. How you do your things on a day-to-day basis in order to be successful, like, you can't get away from that stuff. Like, you can't get cocky. You can't let any of it go to your head, because this is the most humbling game on the planet. And if I've learned anything personally over my time in college baseball, it's that there are a lot of really good players, and, you know, it can turn on you in a heartbeat. So, like I keep saying, sound like a broken record, but we're just going to keep doing things that we need to do to be successful, and just be relentless.
And I think it's anywhere between 9 to 11 teams have a ranking in the SEC next to their name. Just knowing that that's the level of expectation, level of competition you go up against, does that act as somewhat of a humble experience?
I think it's awesome, man. I mean, I grew up a fan of SEC everything. You know, I'm from Colorado, so that should tell you something. I mean, it's where you want to be. It's where everybody in the country wants to be. You know, this is the best conference for pretty much everything. So, I mean, when you see that kind of stuff, it should only motivate you that much more, man. It's just awesome to be a part of. So.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank y'all.